I think there's too much encouragement out there of, hustle and just do it, put your head down, get it done. Like, life is tired, suck it up, get it over with. Like, there's way too much of that energy going on, and I'm tired of it. Today, I'm finally going to share with you the planners and journals that I am going to be using going into 2026. But first, if you're new, hey, my name is Lauren, and on my channel, I share tools and tips to help you on your self-care journey. Planning and journaling are things that I absolutely need to do in order to keep me sane. Journaling is something I've been doing for like 30 years almost, which just is mind-boggling. If you've been following my channel for some time, you know that I do these updates every quarter, and a lot of this is the same, but there's definitely a lot of new stuff going on. So I'm going to go over all of this, and the things that I've already gone over in the past, I'll probably refer you to a different video so that this one isn't a million miles long. Okay, so let's start with the journals. Both of these I've talked about before. Both of these are pretty much the same, with the exception of this little pocket planner because it is dated for 2026. The main difference is last quarter I did start using a Hobonichi Han in the A6 size, and this is very similar in size. This is what I'm going to use to journal pretty much every single day. The things that I want to remember, like long term, because I don't keep my planners. The only thing I have ever kept are like maybe my Moxie Life ones, because there was reflections and stuff written in there, but journal stuff I keep. I did post a picture up on Instagram. I'll pop it up here so you can kind of get an idea of how I'm using this to journal. But every day I have a page. It is time-stamped from 6 to 8. I've been ignoring the timestamps and just filling it in like it's just a notebook page. And so far, I'm really liking this size. I don't mind journaling in this Tomoe River paper because basically once you've filled it out on the other side, you kind of can't really tell that there's writing on the other side, if that makes sense. And it's not something that I'm constantly referring back to reference. So because of that, I don't mind like the ghosting situation that happens in this journal. If you want more details about my plans for using this, I do have like a full flip through of this on my channel, but I will say that one of the things I did decide to do, because spoiler, I'm not doing daily yoga at the moment. I kind of stopped doing that in October. On this page here, you have one of these at the beginning of every month. This only has daily pages, and then it has like monthly views in the beginning. So I figured on this page would probably be a good spot for me to keep track of my yoga for that month, and that's what I've been doing. Right now I'm participating in the Yoga with Adrienne monthly thing that she does in January, and this year it's only like one video per week on Saturdays. That's what I'm going to do, is like I'll write down the date and then write down like how long my practice was. So these are going to be the pages that I'm going to use. In the past, I've used a Erin Condren perpetual calendar. That's something that used to be included in all of their life planners, but they don't do that anymore. I think I do have an extra one that I probably could use, but since I'm kind of putting a pause on doing yoga every single day, I don't feel the need to have one of those out to keep track of that. And the other thing that's the same, this is my journaling. This is the way I've been journaling, like I said, for almost 30 years, is just a lined notebook. This one happens to be an Erin Condren one, and I just changed the cover recently. It's on a gold coil. This was a notebook. When did I get this notebook? I feel like this was a notebook that was exclusive to some kind of like monthly bundle, because they don't sell these like this. And that's why it's on a gold coil, because I never would have upgraded on my own. But this I've been using, I think, since April of 2025. Yeah, I've been using since April 2025. And I can show you, let's see about how far. You see how far my bookmarks right here. I'm about halfway through it, I'd say. So maybe I'll be finished with it by the time we hit April of 2026. Okay, moving on to something else that is also the same. This is my budget planner. I use a Plum Paper weekly planner to do this. I have a full video that you can watch if you are interested in exactly how I use this. For time's sake, I'm going to skip over explaining this in great detail, but typically I just have a running list of the bills, the amounts, and then I use this section here to insert page flags, and then I move them around. But if you want like all the details of exactly how that works, and oh, you know what I just realized I don't have with me that goes along with this is I have an A6 notebook that is from Sterling Ink that I use as my check register log. So check that video out if you need a little bit of inspiration on doing budgeting like on a week by week basis. That's the best way that I can do it because that's how my husband gets paid, is every week. So the rest of these are pretty much new. I'm showing you this. This is the dashboard layout that I was using as my weekly planner for most of 2025. I actually jumped into it early because I bought like an 18 months so that I could use some of the way into the future months because they lined up with May and June of 2025 because this one is a July start. I don't have those marked in here because I ripped them out because I was making room because it just was so bulky. And I transferred that information into the planner that I was using in the beginning of 2025, which was a Sprouted. So if you want like backstories and all that stuff, you can go back. I have a playlist you can check out. But I'm showing you this because I did want to show one of the filled out weeks looked like, so you can kind of get an idea, because I know it kind of can be weird to just see the layout and not know exactly what it would look like filled out. So I'm just going to show you this side because the other side on this specific week had information I can't share, and most of this planner has information I cannot share, so my apologies if you want to see more than this. I can't, otherwise I'd be redacting everything. I don't censor whenever I plan, which is why you don't see a lot of my like real weekly plannings on my channel. But I thought I'd let you see this. This is pretty much exactly how I would use this layout for the week. I would highlight the timed stuff so that I could get a good feel for those things. To me, like those are very important. And then on the other side of this layout, it looks like this, where I basically just had to-do lists and that kind of stuff. So I'm moving away from this, having used this for 8 months, and shifting into the academic planner from Erin Condren because they changed their layout. And I didn't know they were going to change their layout until they actually changed the layout. And I actually can show you the first week in here because there isn't really anything sensitive in here anymore because the week's already over. So this is what I'm going to be using for my main planning. I do have a setup video for this, so I'm not going to go over all the parts in here because I've already moved in, so I can't really show you it because the information's already there. There's some sensitive information. I haven't really changed anything except I did take out something that I'll show you in one of these over here. Pretty much everything goes like before the month starts, about 2 weeks, I set up my month view. And then I refer to that month view whenever I am mapping out the week. So then I map out the week, and it makes it so that I'm only focusing on this week. And every day I basically have this to look at. And this is just so that my mind doesn't get overwhelmed and think too far ahead into the future by constantly referencing a like monthly calendar. And ever since I shifted to doing that and added like that week in, I used to just have like a big calendar on the wall for my family. Ever since I shifted to doing it this way, it's just made things much less stressful in my mind. I used to feel like I was a lot busier than I was. And I think it was just because I was looking at that calendar all the time. And I don't like that. I don't want to see the month. I just want to see the week. And then even on the week, like I don't want to see the week all the time. So I don't like having this open. I literally just use it to reference. And then for like the second half of the year, I didn't really have a dedicated daily planner because my daily duo had ran out. I didn't repurchase a daily planner that was dated because I felt like it was a waste because I wasn't finding myself using it every day. And I've just kind of used either like notepads, because I have some daily notepads. I've used that. And I'm bringing this up because I did add a different planner into the mix, and that's what's in here. And this is going to be like my daily planner, but I'm not calling it a planner. I'm calling it my daily log. It's housed in a Traveler's Company leather with inserts from Traveler's Company. My first time purchasing from them and using their inserts. And the system, though, that I'm doing my daily logging is a bullet journal method. So if you're familiar with the bullet journal, then you might recognize the way that my daily log is. And I think I can show it to you. Let me see. But this piece of leather right here is something that ripped off of a old purse that I had. And I wanted something here to protect this so that the string wouldn't dig into the leather too much. I'm eventually going to get some kind of a leather tag to actually put on there. Okay, I needed to kind of like stick some sticky notes over some of this stuff so that you guys couldn't see everything. But I did want to show you, because this is so new, like how I'm using this, and explain a little bit about the daily log and what I'm doing. I found that I needed to use something less structured, and I tested this out for about a week or longer, just using like an HP mini size like disc that I had with some inserts that were just line notes. And I tested that out for a while before I was like, yeah, this daily logging thing is something I really like. Let me go ahead and like do it in this, because I recently kind of fell in love with the mission for Traveler's Company, and I wanted to support, their brand. So I was like, well, the daily log would be a great way to use in here, because it's small and it's not something that I would like want to keep long term anyway. So I can just toss the inserts and not feel bad about it, because it's all just like paper that can get thrown in the recycle. Then I can reuse the leather parts over and over again. And it's not like I'm buying like a whole new planner with coil and all that stuff like all over again, like I've done in the past with my daily planners. But the old school like bullet journal method has to do with like listing out your daily log. It involves, using the bullet points. And you can see here, like yesterday, if I didn't come back and finish, today's Saturday, bullet point list. And then if it's like a note, you like draw a line, you can create your own key essentially. And I kind of was like hesitant, like, is that actually going to work for me to just kind of list out things like as they go and as it comes up to me? But it's actually worked really well. And I really like this whole, I found that whenever I need to migrate something, like having an extra column here off to the side and like extending it out really makes it stand out more than if I just keep the arrow within the row. It almost blends in. It stands out more so that I know, hey, I need to scoot this over to the next day. And the paper, in case anybody's curious, because this was my first time using MD paper, which is the type of paper that the Traveler's Notebook inserts are. It writes really nice, and the ghosting is hardly there. It's not like thin paper like Tomoe River paper at all, and I'm very happy with it. I tested using this one. This was written with a Sarasa mark-on, and then this was written with a Pentel Energel, and I actually liked the way the Pentel Energel wrote on this paper better than the Sarasa. I'm not sure why. I don't know, it just felt better. I have to go back today and use the Energel and kind of see if I can figure out why I liked that one better. But yeah, that's what I have in here. This is just a grid insert, and then I have a lined insert here that these lines are spaced 6.5 ml apart. I said ml. Apart, and I plan to use this for just like notes that I need to keep longer term, and don't want to have it put in a planner, because when said planner is finished, I might still need to reference it, if that makes sense. So that's why this is in here. And I think having just 2 inserts in the traveler's notebook is just the right amount. If I needed more than this, I would definitely want to look into other brands for their covers, because this is definitely best for just like 1 or 2 and not much else. Otherwise, there's going to start to be like the inserts will start popping out and be very even with this, or even sticking out from the cover itself. And that doesn't give much protection for the inserts and sides. But so looking at the week, I'm looking at the day, and then like carrying over the information here, and then this can just stay open in my kitchen on the counter, and I can just constantly go to it, check things off, kind of stay on track. And doing daily like planning in the past, I'm used to, so this is not like entirely new to me. It's just the way that I'm logging the things is a little bit different, a little bit tweaked, and I actually feel much better, less pressured doing it this way. Because if I do have a day where I'm just going to be out hanging out with family and I don't really have a to-do list that I need to sit down and like really look at, I don't need to waste a page, I don't need to waste a day. This could last me, I don't know, I don't even know how many pages honestly in the insert. But yeah, I just feel a lot better just like carrying this around between like the living room. What I've been doing is at the end of the day, bringing it actually to my room in the evening. So I've been bringing it back and forth. And this is a much more portable of a size than any 6-month daily planner that I've ever had before to like carry around back and forth. And yeah, I've even brought it into Carline and like used it there. So that's new. And I'm not abandoning entirely, at least not in the moment, this dashboard, because right now I don't have a content planner. In the past and in other updates, I've mentioned a monthly planner that Erin Condren had sent me that I was like, well, maybe I can use this for content planning since it's just notes and it's not actual weekly spreads. But I found I never used it. And recently my brain, I don't know what it is, but my mind's been all over the place, it feels like. So I've been using, and I think I could show you, hold on. I wanted to like use this to jot down some things that I've been doing related to my content. And I used to do this a lot, and I keep going back and forth with logging what I'm doing and then not logging what I'm doing. And I think it just depends on how I'm feeling, whether I feel like I need to, because either I am doing a lot and I need to kind of keep track of how much I'm doing and like when am I doing this, when did I do that, or because like I feel like I'm not doing enough, and by logging it, it helps me see, no, you are doing a lot. So I'm probably going to turn to this whenever I feel like I need to, and I'm just going to keep it open like this, probably on the counter under this open, so that I can just log it almost like a rapid log, but this is specifically for just content related, if that makes sense. This is not going to be completely to waste. So it'll still be kind of like in the stack, kind of like complementing, I guess, my existing daily log. I suppose I could just add the content planning into the daily log so I can keep like log what's happening, but we'll have to see if I decide to do that or not, because I'm still trying to get used to just doing this, and I don't want to overcomplicate this by making it too complicated. That was funny. Anyway, you know what I mean. So maybe eventually, as I get more comfortable, I don't want to make too many changes at once. You know, like I just started doing it this way and it's like, okay. And then now to add something else to it, it's like, it's literally only like 1 week into the new year. It'll be fine. So that's that. So that's basically, these are basically the meat. This is basically the meat in my system with like my budget planning is what I use often. But in addition to this, you might be wondering like, Moxie Life stuff might be missing. So I am going to show you what I've decided. And I kind of decided this, I think after I did my setup. I don't know. I think I was thinking about it, but not fully. I don't know. This just ended up happening. And I started doing this in this notebook. I'm going to show you what notebook this is because I got questions when I posted this on Instagram. This is an Erin Condren notebook. It's their priorities and notes layout. So it's a 7x9 notebook, and it has, I'll show you a blank one. This got 6 boxes on this side, lined page on this side. I've whited it out, the little asterisk Erin Condren logo, and I'm showing you a blank week because I can't show you any of the stuff that I have filled out, but I've combined some of the categories for Moxie Life. So the personal and then the personal growth and spiritual development, or spiritual and personal growth. I think that's what it's called. Spiritual and personal growth categories. I combine those into this box. And for fun and family stuff, which I think is supposed to be fun and recreation and family and relationships, those 2 categories I kind of bunched together because a lot of times the things that I'm doing with family are also related to fun recreational things. So I just combined that there, and that's how I was able to get it into the 6 categories. So I started using this sometime in December and to test out using this notebook like this, and I really like it. So the thing that I struggled with a lot in 2025 was I tried to insert the Moxie Life system into my daily planner, and it just didn't work. The layouts I chose specifically were here's the week on this side, and this side was either dashboard or just line. Actually, that's kind of what it was. Between the sprouted planner I started the year with and then the dashboard planner that I finished it in, both of them had week on this side, a bunch of different spots, dashboard, whatever. I couldn't quite figure out how to put all my Moxie Life stuff in there. And I don't know, I couldn't do it. So I didn't do a good job of following Moxie Life, but I also kind of was not really forcing it and was kind of just taking it easy. And there was a lot of months where I didn't set monthly goals at all. So this setup here, I went ahead and dated ahead. So I have this dated through February. I'll show you where I left a spot for, this is where my February goals page is going to be. This is going to be where I'll reflect on January, and then I'll turn, and this will be another weekly actions, and it'll continue. This will be where I do the weekly reflections. And I don't know, my brain is just so happy to be doing this again. This is exactly kind of what I did when I was using their system in the companion notebooks, where it was a completely separate notebook from my existing planner system, except those notebooks have monthly views, which I don't really need. And the thing that I didn't like about the companion notebooks was that they were all in separate books, and it made it to where once I moved into the new one, I couldn't really easily reference an old one, and even the goals are in a completely separate one. So it's all separated, and there's enough pages in here that I should be able to last the entire year, and I could even skip, but I don't think I'm going to allow myself to do that, because I think the best way for me to do this is for me to pre-set up these pages a whole month in advance, so that I am not every single week trying to find time to set this up, because that's going to get annoying really fast. And this is going to be how I basically do Moxie Life for 2026, but in my own way. I was able to find somebody who graciously is sending me the 2025 reflections notebook that comes with the Moxie Life planners. They send them, they're sending them with the planners, but since I'm not buying one, and then by the time I was you know what, I really should buy the reflections book, they didn't have any more physical ones. They only had digital ones, and I cannot do a digital one. I know myself. I try and buy a digital one. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to fill it out. So I haven't actually filled out my goals. Maybe I should have started with that. I haven't set my 2026 goals yet. If you watched my setup video for the academic planner, then you know that in that video, it was like a collaboration, and it included a tip, and the bonus tip was at the end, and it was related to setting your goals. And I mentioned how I have been following the Lunar New Year as my start date for setting goals for a while. And I don't know why, it worked for me the first year that I decided, let me try that instead. And that was after the year prior doing it like January 1st, let's go. This is what, not necessarily let's go, like I'm going to go gung-ho on all the goals right from the beginning. It was more of like the whole setup process and the brain power that's needed to figure out what are my goals going to be, to do all that stuff at the same time as Thanksgiving and Christmas and having to buy all the presents and all the things, all the changes. The kids are home for like 2 weeks during Christmas, and they're home for a week during Thanksgiving. And then just like if there's traveling that happens, or my husband taking time off work, like nothing is normal. I don't have like the quiet to reflect. And I remember that just feeling overwhelming once it was all done. I remember thinking, dang. And then I think I heard somebody talk about like Lunar New Year, and that being like almost like the true start. And then you'll hear people talk about how it's still winter in January. Like literally, it's only been winter for like not even 2 weeks when January starts. So we're still in winter, and winter is supposed to be a time for the earth to rest, and we're expected to, I guess, compete with that energy of the earth and just be like full gung-ho working on our goals. So that kind of was like, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should try setting my goals like later, wait until all the kids go back to school, and give myself like practically all of January, some of February to figure things out, because usually the Lunar New Year is like either, I think it's been anywhere between the end of January or sometime in February. And this year for 2026, it's February 17. So that's my deadline for having my goals set for 2026. And I love that. I love that I can it's just like in this season of like so much less stress and pressure going on that I can do these reflections. And also it lines up with reflecting during the winter time. It gets dark early, like we don't want to do anything. It just has worked so well for me. I encourage anybody else to try it. And that's the only reason why I'm still doing it, is because it works. So that's why I don't have my goals set. And I'll probably do a separate video for the goals and like the process. We'll see what I do. I know somebody has asked me if I'm going to do that. I have shared goal stuff in the past before, so you're welcome to like check that out so you can kind of get an idea for the types of goals that I do set. I'm not the type of person that sets like big goals in each area of my life. It's a lot of maintenance goals, as Moxie Life likes to refer to them as. But anyway, I will save that spiel for another day. But all of these, that's my stack. It's not, I don't think it's crazy. I think if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been pretty consistent with like how I plan. It's pretty much always been like, she has a weekly planner that holds everything as far as like her monthly calendar. I use that for everything scheduling, and then I use the weeks to map that out, and then I transfer that into a daily. And then I have my budgeting system that I use every week, and then I've got my journals, and sometimes I have a content planner, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I use Moxie Life and sometimes I don't. That's basically been my planning, and the type of weekly planner that I use has changed a lot. I don't know exactly if this academic planner is going to work well for me. It's going to take some time to get used to being in a vertical format. In the beginning, if you dig to like the oldest videos I have, they are me planning in a Plum Paper vertical priorities, which is very similar, except it doesn't have like a habit tracker. So that's why I kind of know how to use that. It's just been a long time. And I'm looking forward to like doing something a little bit different, since I've kind of decided, you know what, just I cannot put the Moxie in my planner the way I would like to, and that's fine. I guess I'm just somebody who needs it out of it. I just have to remember to keep referencing it. So I haven't had a problem with that so far. So, you know, maybe it's not that big a deal that it's not together. Anyway, share with me your planners in the comments. I'd like to know if you are using any of these. If you got any ideas for my video, let me know also. I will say, if you've also made it this far, I did launch a Patreon, but it's not a paid. It's like a free Patreon. I'm going to test out using that platform. I'm going to call it a platform. It's almost like a social media platform because it has a feed that I can just like post things on the feed and just kind of see what it's like over there, how I feel. So if you like what you've seen here and you like my channel and you want to kind of just another way to stay connected, I encourage you to check it out over there. I would like to try and build like a little community possibly over there. If it doesn't work out, maybe we'll have to figure something out. Maybe like a Discord. I really would like to like do something where all of us who like are kind of like-minded in the sense that we like to use planners and journals, and we are also hyper like aware that we can't do everything. We can't schedule every minute of our day. We can't live this go, go, go lifestyle, that we need to schedule our rest and we need to make time to prioritize ourselves. Like if you want to be around like-minded people like that, I kind of want to create some kind of a space because I think it's important that we're able to connect with others, because it feels like, I don't know about you, but it kind of feels like sometimes, I'm going off on a tangent, it sometimes feels like I'm the only one. That's just like my thinking. It sometimes feels like I'm the only one who's out here like actively trying to tell people, stop scheduling so much stuff, put yourself in your planner. And like, I don't know. It would be nice to kind of have a place where we can all kind of gather occasionally and piggyback off each other of like ideas, things that we do to take care of ourselves and encourage each other, because I think there's too much encouragement out there of, you know, hustle and just do it, put your head down, get it done. Like life is tired, suck it up, get it over with. Like there's way too much of that energy going on and I'm tired of it. So if you're tired of it too, I'd like for you to join our community over on Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. And that's it. I'm just going to end this video here because I'm just rambling now at this point. Like this video so that more people can see it. Share it if you want to share it. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.